6 out of 10 Republicans recommend FTR Radio to everyone they know. The other 4 are rhinos. FTR Radio, online at FTRradio.com. FTR Radio salutes some of the great Democrat presidents in the radio era. FTR Radio.
You're listening to Liz and Taylor.
Alright, so why can't I get another tattoo? Come on.
Because you get another tattoo, then you start talking another gun.
But not the movie star, the battling duo from the Right War on FTR Radio.
Oh, come on.
You're the one who said it.
That was a joke, partially.
Enlist in the Right War. Won't cost you nothing. Not as good as military service, but it's got to count for something, right?
Good evening, folks. Thank you for listening to FTR Radio. I'm Liz Harrison. This is the Right War. No, Taylor is not here. He was not feeling really well. So, got the Micah Miller from the Right Mics over on the Evils VLR.
Mm-hmm. Okay, look. Here's the first. Why don't you just do this at like 3 o'clock in the morning? Okay? Like, what the hell's the matter with you? Like, why are we doing this at 11 o'clock at night? And, of course, she asks me earlier if I want to do it from 10 to 11. I'm thinking, oh, God, I've been working all day. I said, all right, fine, I will, because God knows Liz has helped me through the years. We've known each other a long time. So then when it dawns on me that you're thinking I'm in Central Time, not Eastern Time, and I'm actually going to have to do it at 11, again, back to my question, why don't you just do it at 3 o'clock in the morning and just stay up all night?
For the record, you want to know why I was thinking you were in Central Time?
I think I might know the answer just living here, but why?
Because Skype thinks that you're in Central Time.
Well, see, it does. And so does, what the hell, we use, what the hell? Anyway, at IJR, you guys that follow me and Housem and our show know that I write for IJ Review. It thinks I'm in Central Time, too. Now, what I thought you were going to say, like, it used to be different here. Like, the time zone here, or the time here never changed. Half the year we were Eastern Time. The other half we were Central Time. And that was kind of weird. So we were Chicago half the year, New York the other half of the year. And now Indianapolis is always Eastern Time. There's like 2 parts of the state that go Central Time, and we're Eastern Time. And I know this is scintillating radio. I'm sure people writing this down want to make sure they know what time it is in Indianapolis all the time.
Well, see, this is filed under my bad because, I should know this because of the Fingers Malloy.
Well, I think exactly right. And I think because you know everything anyway, I think this is something fairly easy for you to memorize, Lizzie.
Yeah, right up there with the confusing time zone issue over in Phoenix.
Right. That's exactly right. Well, that's true, too. Becca Lower talks about that all the time. Another IJR-ite. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, she's in the chat, so. Yeah, she's saying what a great guy you are.
She knows it. And you know what? I hated Becca at the beginning. She knows. She hated me too. I know she did. I was awful to her. She would try to screw with stuff that I wrote. I would ask her to define her job. Okay, we love each other now, which is why I can joke about it. I love Becca Lower. She's like the mom. Becca is like the mother hen at IJR. She is copy editor extraordinaire, and I mean that because look, you and I write a lot, right? And I think we just like proofread the crap out of stuff we write. But anyone who writes knows that you can come to a point where there might be an error, a typo that is so obvious to someone who didn't write it right and reading it over and over again. Becca doesn't miss anything. She's like a studette. So Becca, love you, and you know that, which is again why I can say we hated each other at the beginning, because we don't anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah, at least I'm not going to end up with anybody trying to hang me in the FTR chat.
No.
See, they're all trying to find you on the Twitter, so you're going to have more Twitter followers.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much you pay attention to the right mics. Hausum mans, by the way, Michael Hausum on the right mics with Mike Miller, Michael Hausum mans the official Twitter desk, except no, artificial right mics Twitter desks. But Hausum is a wizard on Twitter, and I'm guessing you're somewhere in between Hausum and me, because all I do is when I write something, when I'm done, when I publish it on IJR, I tweet it, and that's pretty much it. And then when I go on, what the hell's the show's email? Mine, rightmics13 at yahoo.com. I get all these. You have a new Twitter follower, and such mentioned you. Half the time it's the Right Mike's website. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. Are you active on Twitter?
Me?
Yeah.
Sometimes. I mean, it's a lot of I'm the most active bot out there, as Alan Bordius would put it. When I do show my face on there, I have a tendency of, I don't draw fire. I just raise hell. If I'm pissed off, I tend to go on the Twitter.
That's your middle name, Liz L. Harrison. Yeah.
I mean, it was arguably more interesting when I had a few playmates around, and I don't have them anymore. So, except Mariah. So you always have to watch when Mariah and I start going and playing around on the Twitter. She's difficult.
Really?
Yes, she will say things that will really upset people, and especially if they are really prudish at all.
Ooh, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, and I hold no responsibility for what Mariah may or may not do to you.
She's a Facebook friend of mine, I think, but I don't know of her to be. We'll see. So anyway, what's going on? I mean, tell me about what are we doing? I mean, we're supposed to fight about stuff.
Yeah. You brought up the you fed me some links, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, fine. I'm just going to roll with this because I had a really
it's your show. It's like your show, right?
I know, but I don't have any problem with this because I find it amusing. Good buddies over at Truth Revolt, Sarah Fisher, one of the people who I'm not really familiar with, but I gotta love this one. A Turkish preacher, and I'm not going to attempt to say his name. We're not going to bother. But he's a Muslim televangelist.
That's all we need to know.
That's all we need to know. Muslim televangelist told his followers that masturbation will lead to a pregnant hand in the afterlife.
Now, see, as a young child, I don't know how young, but when you're kind of discovering yourself, if you know what I mean, I don't know, what's 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, there's a lot of stuff that you'd heard, warts and all kinds of different stuff. I do have to confess that it never even crossed my mind that my hand might become pregnant in the afterlife. I'm just saying, right?
Now, my question is, does this apply for women too? If they're given hand jobs?
Well, see, that's an exact perfect question because, it should, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should.
Although, let's think this through. There's no seed there in the latter example.
No, because the whole point there is that you'd end up with it all over your hand.
Right.
So,
but it just,
unless you're really, really skilled at it.
I don't want to paraphrase Bill Clinton, but it depends on what the meaning of it is, as you
No,
say.
I'm saying if a woman gives a guy a hand job.
Oh, okay, all right. See, like I was thinking more like
No.
We're talking about masturbation here. We're not talking about the woman.
Mutual masturbation as opposed to solo. Meaning,
Okay, all right. No. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Well, I would think that would make it doubly more probable to happen.
Right.
That the hand would, like, maybe have triplets or something in the afterlife. Because
Oh, good God.
how much more fertile of a hand could you have than a woman masturbating? Well, to your language,
Giving a guy a hand job.
to the guy. So
Yeah.
that right there is a marriage made in Islamic heaven, if you will.
Oh, dear God.
I know.
We're just so wrong
I
on
know,
so
well,
many
that's-
levels.
It's just unbelievable, and I love every second of it, though.
True.
You know,
See, bear in mind, folks, I mean, if anybody's out there blushing, for better or worse, Miller and I have had a tendency of having some rather odd off-color conversations.
yeah, we have, and like Housem and I, Liz and I have, like the, like the closet tapes, or the like, what do you call it? The stuff that hasn't been released. Liz and I have hours of recorded conversation just between the two of us that at some point in the future we will release as a box set. It will not be cheap, but it will be worth every dime you pay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, you're not down with this? You don't think like that these guys' hands are going to get pregnant in the afterlife?
I have no idea. I mean, really, I can't speak for, what happens in Muslim paradise. That's just not my thing.
Let's do the what is it? 72 virgins? Is that the number?
I think.
Yeah. Who said they're going to be women? First of all,
Right.
I mean, they could be virgin sheep, which would
Goats.
have to be more of a goats, more of a continuation of their life on Earth, right? Or that they won't all look like Roseanne Barr, right? Because when you when you hear that, like, I'm a halfway decent looking guy, and I think to myself, okay, to me, I've had a pretty damn high bar my whole life, and to me, when I envision dying and having one virgin, let alone 72 of them, I think that's going to be a hot babe. But I have yet to read in the Quran anything about what the definition of that virgin. So I mean, I kind of wonder about that. I just wish we could kind of, just for the show, bring a Muslim back from Nirvana or whatever the hell they call it, and just ask them what the virgins are all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, in the chat room, Prairie Dog goes and says, nickname in heaven will be Hulk Hands.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So what if you could rape someone else's hand?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that what it is whenever they tell somebody to, give them a hand job and force them to do it at knife point or something?
No, I think that's exactly right. Right? If you have a guy dominating a woman who insists that that she gives him a hand job. Now that I look at this story and I kind of open it up a bit, I mean, he's in effect raping her hand, isn't he?
Yeah.
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 So, aren't you?
But of course, rape is all right as long as it was an infidel.
Well, that's right. And and by the way, I forget who said it. It was some dopey Republican candidate a long time ago. I think if you're going to get raped, you know what's going to happen. Just like relax and enjoy it, right? So just let it all, let it all go, or help it go, as it were. So
God.
yeah, I know.
Legitimate rape guy.
That's right. Legitimate rape guy. All right.
Yeah.
So, so there you have it.
Yeah, from legitimate rape to, the hell with monogamy. Why not?
Well, that's exactly right. Because why on earth should monogamy exist? Because we should be. This is in WAPO, by the way. I mean, we're smart enough, we're evolved enough as a society that we should, along with other traditions, right, Judeo-Christian traditions, I think monogamy needs to go away as well, don't you?
I am ambivalent because, I actually did read the Washington Post article, and for better or worse, I'm in one of those situations where when people have marital issues, I occasionally end up hearing about it, as in they ask, well, what do I do?
I was thinking that sentence was going to end, but then again, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, but
I can get where they're coming from here, and I actually was going to go in relatively that direction.
Well, okay, wait a minute. Stop the tape. When you say you were going to go in that direction, you mean in your
with writing.
Oh, see, I thought you meant in your life.
No.
Oh, all right, no, I was kidding.
No, I understand. But, well, okay, to place it in perspective, I mean, we have this situation, and we have way too much sex on the interwebs.
We do.
Yeah,
well,
we do.
You may. I mean, I don't. I just,
Oh, it's a collective statement, and sort of, yeah. You can't go much of anywhere without coming across a lot of questions and
this is true. And
chat
pictures
rooms
and stuff. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all sex. So, I have come across quite a few people who have praised the internet for saving their marriages. And the reason for this has been because of sexting and cybersex.
So they're able to, if you will, satisfy some of their frustrations, let's just call it that, and not having to actually physically cheat on their significant other.
There's some of that, but there's also a lot more of the, damn, it's getting boring in bed, I'm going to go on the interwebs and get inspiration.
Really? So you
deal.
think people like go there to get educated and then take it back to the bedroom?
Exactly.
Huh. Well, that's maybe true. Who would you guess? I mean, like, would a guy be more apt to do that, or would a woman?
Actually, I'm coming across close to 50-50.
See, because I would have guessed a woman, because I think, and this is being a heterosexual male. I think most guys kind of know what they want to do, and they're just always wondering if they can kind of push that envelope just a little wider, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then women thinking, oh God, I don't want to have anal sex, as an example, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that. I'm going to go online and just see if that's like anywhere near mainstream. So, see, that's how I'm thinking about it. But again, I'm thinking about it from a guy's perspective.
Well, Viagra Nation, the guys who have
Yeah.
erectile dysfunction. There are a lot of them who are apparently using the interwebs to get inspiration, like as in get started, and then...
Well, see, the thing with Viagra is not probably once getting started, it's finishing. Because, when they say...
opposite direction type dysfunction deal.
Right, I know. But, how that commercial says, if you have an erection lasting more than 4 hours, call the doctor. I'm just thinking most guys, you got an erection, right? You're coming up on a couple hours, 3 hours. You're looking at the clock, maybe 3.5. I'm thinking along that whole time, like all the people you've been calling, the doctor wasn't like on that list. If you know.
Yeah.
So, and again, I mean, we joked about that on the show today, but no, I understand what you're saying. I mean, to be serious, yeah, I do get it. But the monogamous thing, do you think that, and again, you and I know each other, we've known each other a long time, is that good for society? I mean, to think that, I mean, here's kind of my thought. I think it's kind of like when a couple decides, a couple that care about each other, right, that been together, when they make a decision to bring like a third partner in, right, to kind of like a group sex thing.
Yeah. Don't
you think that like 9 times out of 10 or however many, that one of the two of them talk the other one into it? And then secondly, that at least one of them is going to regret it after it's over with. And thirdly, that it may very well lead to troubles in that relationship as a result.
If someone is being coerced into it, then yeah, I'll agree with you. But a lot of the time when I come across people who are in what is now called polyamorous relationships, that's usually not the case. They're usually education has gotten much better. The groups that are involved in this sort of thing, like if you go and end up dealing with other people who are into the same general idea, they're getting far more mainstreamed and ethical.
Okay, so let's back up the bus a second. Okay, and again, polyamorous. Let's go with that. I get the term. I know the term. But, and again, I'm going to be devil's advocate here, right? If you truly love your soulmate, right? And I said soulmate on purpose. You truly love that other person. I don't care who's what gender. And again, I'm just throwing this out there. Then why would you need or even want and or need to bring a third partner into a very intimate physical relationship? And again, I'm just throwing that out there. Like, why?
Well, I have come across couples that, for various reasons, they can't have the same sex lives that they had when they initially got together. Usually for medical reasons.
Right, okay.
So instead of having the relationship fall apart because of the lack of sex, they either allow for situations like was in the Washington Post where somebody goes out on a date night,
right,
or they end up engaging in, well, threesomes, and the one who has medical difficulties does what they can, and then the other one is there for what they can't do.
And does that
boils down to an act of... You're talking about a physical act, and it depends on how they approach it emotionally.
No, I understand that. And I you know what, as you're speaking, you sound a lot more, how do I say this, capable of being able to handle something like that than I could. And I'm thinking, I'm wondering if guys maybe have more of a problem with, well, I don't know.
They do.
Yeah, see, I would think so, as I think through it and as I listen to you.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And just to make it clear, I mean, while this whole breaking with monogamy thing is going on, at the same time, the concept of people cheating has become a more horrible thing in the minds of more people than just about anything else. So when you put those two together, that's saying that you have a lot of people who are looking at going and getting into these kinds of relationships, but they're doing it up front. They are communicating with their partners, and it isn't cheating because it is with permission.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Do you think, because we're talking about, going online and doing stuff.
Yeah.
So do you think, like, okay, let me just kind of paint the, kind of proverbial picture here. The woman goes to bed, the spouse, the significant other goes to bed. She's tired. She's worked all day. The dude's up, and then he goes over to the computer, wanders around, ends up on a porn site or in some, chat room or whatever, do you think that behavior on his part causes less real cheating? And again, we'd have to define real in this sense. I would define it as actually doing it. I mean, physically, or do you think that just even makes it worse? That it's kind of like marijuana being a gateway drug, right? That you go online and you start doing all this stuff, and then you get crazier, and then that just makes you ultimately go out there and actually do it. I mean, what's your sense of that?
It's no more dangerous than Playboy, Hustler, etc. I mean, it's just a change in the type of media.
Okay, I think you're
Where
right.
it gets bad is when you end up with addiction to it, which is, we've had porn addiction for
Which
Lord
again,
knows how many years.
addiction to porn or water, they're all bad, right? Well, no, seriously, right? Whatever you're addicted to is bad.
Oh, dear. Yeah, addiction is bad no matter what. But,
It is. Kind of like you and me being addicted to talking on there.
Seriously, I mean, it's becoming one of those bizarro type things for me, because you're sitting here putting me through 20 questions, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh dear, it's a good thing you knew that I shifted gears, so to speak.
And you're thinking, damn it, it's my show. And you're
Oh,
asking
no.
me questions.
No, it's fine. It's all good.
I know.
Yeah.
I love you.
For those who are slow on the uptake, yeah, I don't do as much political writing or anywhere near as much straight up political talk as I used to do. So.
But you talk about far more interesting things than you used to talk about too. So that's.
Yeah. Those who used to get really dead bored with the,
When I
foreign
first
policy and pick on Marie Harf deal.
When I first met you on Red County years ago, I thought you were kind of fairly dry. You and I've been friends for a long time, and I've come to know you. And Liz Harrison is not dry, all right? I'm just saying, as a friend.
Yeah, thank you. It's taken a while. I mean, I could argue that I'm going back to my relative roots at this point.
I already know you. It's too late.
Well, okay. I enjoy I'm enjoying the irony. This would not be lost on Becca. I'm pulling an opposite Stranahan.
Is she in the chat right now?
Yes, she is.
Becca, God bless you, man.
Yeah, when that finally hits, I expect that something odd is going to come out of Becca. They have a delay there, so we'll see what happens.
You should ask her sometimes some of the crap that I say to her. And she knows I'm kidding. But I love Becca Lower. Again, I mean, like I've already said it more than we need to, because she doesn't matter or make any difference to our lives. But I just...
Oh, come on now. That was mean.
Well, again, she's laughing when she hears it.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm doing the whole backward thing, and probably I'm going to tick off at least a few people along the way, because,
job.
God forbid I sit there and point out the obvious that even though you have all this puritanical nonsense going on, conservatives still have sex.
They do.
The irony is that for every one or two that sit there and complain about some goofy thing that leftists do, like the Washington Post kill the monogamy deal, when I go and post anything that's off Keller on my Facebook, suddenly I have, it totally blows up.
Mm-hmm. You, kind of go back and forth, don't you? I mean, you, I knew you a long time before how should I put this? Thought of you any differently than just kind of political, like Goldwater gal, right?
Right.
So then, the more I learned about you, and you were an expert in areas that I am not. But was that from Becca? Did I
Yes,
just
it
see that?
was.
I can trash somebody's. Yeah. Okay, Becca. Look, we'll talk later. Okay.
She's joking. Chill.
No. I know, and she knows I'm kidding her. But yeah, whatever. You have okay. I did that whole thing because that was
No, about
that
me
was,
switching and the
yeah, no,
politics
that was
and the
just
Goldwater
funny.
gal.
Yeah. So, like, it's kind of like the Liz After Hours thing, you guys, if you know what I mean. And if you listen to this show, look, I'm never even up at 11 frickin' o'clock to listen to a show, which is silly because I watch Fallon every night. But so I've not listened to this show before. You were a weekly guest on the old Mike Miller show. I've been on your show before, the Cigar Lounge thing. You've been on the Right Mics before. But like I don't know didn't know the format of this show. So like maybe the people know you on this show differently than I knew you in the early years. If again, you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, this show has definitely evolved.
I'm sure it has.
It has definitely evolved over the years.
And we know
I mean,
we know that evolution is a very good thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's right. All right.
Now, I'm going to do a little bit of picking because, I can. Because
Yeah.
it
What's your
is
show?
my show.
What's your show?
It's my show.
Yeah.
I had a thing show up. The previous item about the monogamy was from Caitlin Dewey,
Okay.
who I occasionally read on WAPO. I try to pay attention, but, it gets tedious.
Right.
But she had another item. But I looked at that and it ran through my head the line from Monty Python. Charles Johnson, one of the internet's most infamous trolls, has finally been banned from Twitter. And there was much rejoicing. Yay! Oh my God.
Gosh, my.
I'm a terrible person.
Should anyone be banned from Twitter?
Honestly, it is a free enterprise. They are a private company. Of course they have it.
Well, I didn't ask if they had the right to do it because it is a company. It is a private entity. They have every right to do it. My question was, should it happen? I'm thinking more along the whole constitutional thing. And
constitutionally, they're all right too. I mean, it's still a private company.
So right, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm asking? I'm just not asking it very eloquently. I mean, but should you ban?
Should they be honoring free speech?
There you go. I mean, should they? Like, let me ask you this way: Do you ban or unfriend liberal trolls on your Facebook page?
I haven't really had any.
I have two of them.
Yeah, I don't tend to. I had one ban me.
Well, they love to do that.
Yeah, but like I can read her stuff, but I can't comment on it or something.
My position on that is, I want them to spew their crap as often as they can, because I want people to see how they think. You know how liberal trolls are, right? They want to piss you off because they're bitter, right? It's all circular. It's all like it doesn't make any sense. It's factually, data-based, historically based. None of it makes any sense. They just troll. I mean, you guys who don't know what that is, I mean, look up internet troll, and probably the two guys on my site's picture will be there. But I like them to spew their crap because I want people to look. It's one thing, in my opinion, Liz. It's one thing to tell people what they are and how they think. it's better in my mind to let them go ahead and just do it themselves and stand back and just let them go.
Right. Well, in Johnson's case, as it was quoted in the story, he came out onto Twitter.
Okay.
And he was asking for funds to, quote, take out the civil rights activist DeRay McKesson, who's been active in Baltimore and Ferguson.
Well, all right.
Right there.
Well, yeah.
That's fire. That's calling fire in the theater.
That's different. Yeah, no, that yes, that's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, I don't.
Yeah, no, you know what I should.
I don't tolerate that.
No, and you're right. I probably, before I went off on my little rant, I should have let you finish that, because no, in that case, yeah, that is definitely crying fire in a theater, or worse. It's actually crying for fire in the theater.
Exactly. And that I won't tolerate. No. I mean, I had issues whenever he decided that it was a good idea to go after Dana Lash. I really didn't appreciate the way he did it, because it was a double whammy as far as I was concerned. Because not only did he go after Dana, but he was also sourcing information from Gina Loudon. And the problem with quoting Gina Loudon was he was doing it from when she was in the St. Louis Press.
Right.
But she was on the left coast on a death vigil, right, with a member of her staff. You know, it was one of the tech people who works with her on a regular basis on her video show.
Okay.
And they were on a death vigil with his parents. And I was like, oh, wow, that is just... And it wasn't any secret. It was on her Facebook. She was asking people for prayers and everything else. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, you are like the scummiest person on the face of the planet, because not only did you go after Dana, but you also dredged up a lot of information that Gina wrote years ago that she can't even go and say anything about, because she's completely out of communication with everybody, except for going and occasionally making Facebook updates about the dying parent of one of her tech people.
I know, that's despicable. I love Dana, by the way. Have listened to her for years, and I think the thing that probably cracks me up the most that she does, and pisses off liberals the most at the same time, is when she reads the hate mail, and she does, the various voices when she's reading them. Every time I just howl every time she does that. So, love Dana.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Johnson is just a blight on the planet.
Yeah, no, you're right there. But I do like, irrespective of his blight, to kind of finish the circle. I mean, I want people to hear Ed Schultz. I want people to hear Sharpton. I want people to hear Tingles. I want people to hear Ray Maddow, if you will. Because, again, like I said, I mean, rather than tell people how idiotic they are, one would hope that enough people would listen to these people. Of course, they average, 42 people a show, so that's probably not going to happen. Just let them do it themselves, right? How idiotic the left has become in this country.
Oh, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. Hey, speaking of, well, I don't know if it's insane, but Housem and I have spent, literally between us, several $1,000s in the last couple of days on the Hillary merch website. buying everything from throw pillows to beer glasses to T-shirts and stuff, onesies for grandkids and stuff. I'm just curious, like, how much money have you spent on the Hillary Clinton official merchandise site?
I can't say I've spent any.
Oh, I can't even believe it because, dude, you're a woman. All right, I'm looking at this site right now. Just this throw pillow for $55, just $55, kind of the old school, like needle stitching or whatever. Shows it's got a cream color. It's got like a red kind of whatever border thing going on. White House at the top, and then it says, again, like real old school stitching, a woman's place is in the White House. And then it's got that goofy Hillary emblem, looks like hospital this way, right? The blue H with the red arrow. You can pick that up for $55. I can't believe you haven't been on there. And then you just go down next, you have the Progress pint glass. God knows what red-blooded American male would not want to drink his next beer out of the Progress pint glass. These are only $25 a piece. Look, I bought 5 cases of them, at $25 a glass, because I just keep them in my trunk. I run into my pals, stop out of one of my favorite sports bars or whatever, have a couple of beers with my buddies, see how many of them are in there, I bring in a few of them. And then there's the onesie. Like, who wouldn't want the onesie? It's got that hospital this way thing for their children, for their grandkids. I'm really surprised you haven't been there, but my favorite, this is why I'm talking about this, is the everyday pantsuit tee. This is real. You can't make this up. This is like the Onion stuff, okay? It shows this girl modeling this tee, and it's supposed to be, again, they call it the everyday pantsuit tee. The only thing that's not right about it, well, first of all, it's red. I'm not seeing Hillary in red, but it's not a pantsuit. It's like a woman's suit, right? It's got the lapels, right? Kind of like a man's suit. Hillary's pantsuits are much more kind of Mao-esque, if you will, right? The collar looks like Mao is wearing it. So I would think you would want some of those just for your friends.
No, honestly, okay. Now I'll start with the throw pillow.
Yeah.
It wouldn't match my decor.
Well, see, that's what
in my bedroom.
Well, that's what I told Howsam. But Howsam immediately changed his entire decor to match the pillow. So he's ahead of us.
That's not happening. I'm not giving up my lovely jade green bedding. Not giving that up. Oh, and of course, cross stitch. That's going to clash really badly.
That's what it is.
Yeah, the cross stitch is going to clash really badly with the leather and stuff. But
that's right. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, does anybody really picture chains going with that? Really?
No, that would be like a downer, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
You just catch that pillow out of the corner of your eye. It's like over. I'm thinking the mood is shot.
Exactly. Exactly. And the onesie, well, I'm theoretically old enough to end up becoming a grandparent because, 20-year-old daughter. But yeah, she knows I'd kill her.
Okay, but get back up to my favorite, the Progress pint glass. Like, what possible problem could you have with that?
I don't use glasses like that. I use one. Yeah, I don't use pint glasses like that. My pint glass is one of those ones that's got curves. Okay, but and it says Scotland on it in pewter.
Okay, but see, again, this is why, you're just demonstrating to your regular listeners what they already probably know, that you're this elite conservative snob who doesn't understand that this is not about the shape of a glass. This is about a cause. This is about a champion, Liz Harrison, for the American people.
Well, you see, I do drink out of, like, not beer, out of a pint glass like that.
Okay.
But mine says, just remember, girls, behind every strong man is a strong feminine woman.
That kind of might sound sexist, but we don't have time to talk about that. So what do you think about the tea? The tea. Pantsuit tea.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the one that I went and had pimped shortly by Jonathan Hoenig.
Okay.
The capitalist pig. See, he liked my pink extremist babe t-shirt.
Wow.
Yeah. So
yeah. As you look at this,
and of course that also doesn't compete with the spaghetti strap. Keep calm and choose your flogger wisely.
Okay, that was funny. I love that a lot. But I mean, short of spaghetti straps and floggers, if you will. I mean, if you just take the image imprinted on this pantsuit tee, the everyday pantsuit tee. By the way, you guys, you can put those up for $30 a piece on the Hillary site. I think they only come in red, but that looks like she doesn't wear stuff like that. That looks like way too feminine because Hillary always wears. It's always the same neckline thing. What, Liz? Why do you think she does that? It's always like I'm sorry, but it's like the Mao Zedong outfit. You know, the crazy little bitty dude in North Korea. What he wears. I mean, doesn't Hillary dress like what I'm talking about almost all the time?
I don't know. All I know is that it would clash with the big girl pants.
Well, that part's true too. But God, I know liberal. My wife's a liberal. Well, she says she is. I don't think she really is. She just loves trees and believes that global warming happens and doesn't care what science says. And she tells me that.
Now, see.
What?
I can get behind some of the Rand Paul offerings.
Oh my gosh! Today?
No, just because, because it doesn't clash and other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, like the bag toss game, although it is a bit pricey at $100.
Yeah.
And the Rand Paul woven blanket, at least it's darker hues. And he was smart enough. See, he's marketing to people like me because he shows it folded on a black leather chair.
Wow. He might have brought Martha.
There you go.
He might have brought Martha Stewart in as an advisor. Yeah. What do you think about him talking about Republican hawks in his own party today? Did you see that?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
He's sort of right.
Well,
I mean, it's far more complex than just that, but he is sort of right.
And you're right on both counts. I guess the question being, was that a plus or a minus for him in doing that?
Well, no matter what, he doesn't exist.
Well, that's true too. Well, it's no question. No, I agree.
Yeah. They're always going to ignore him. Fox is going to, except for when he does something like this. And, they won't put him in the polls or anything because I guess Roger Ailes doesn't like him.
Let me ask you.
But
go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but basically he was right about the Hawks not knowing what they were doing. And that goes on both sides of the aisle because we do have some on the Dem side, even though they try to say they're not. Throwing arms into the Middle East is like going and putting a barbed wire fence around Detroit.
And
dropping arms in there.
I hate Monday morning quarterbacking, and I try to hate it as much when our side does it as I do the other side. So let me ask you one more question. every guest that comes on the Right Mics, and we have a nice roster of people that keep coming back through. If we've not asked them this previously, we ask them. We had Jennifer Burke on yesterday. We love her. If you had to pull the lever tomorrow, okay, it's November 8th or whatever, 2016, Liz Harrison walks into the voting booth, has to vote tomorrow for the candidate, not who you think has the best chance to win, but who you most agree with. Can you tell me at this point, who would that be? I think I know the answer, by the way.
Wow. I can't say that because there are two.
Used to be. Okay, well, I know. Well, okay, I at least know who one of them is. So who?
Yeah, there are two, and there are different reasons for both. But I'd have to say that they have about the same pow.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Scott Walker.
Yep.
Marco Rubio.
No.
Ted Cruz.
No.
Ooh, God! Don't say Jeb Bush.
Hell no.
Okay, like I got nothing.
Rand Paul.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I had to go there because Ted Cruz, well, it's because of the criminal justice issues. I agree with Rand Paul on quite a few of them. And you can blame Jason Pye for that if you like, and Matt Kibbe, and all of those folks, and the folks at the Center for American Progress. But, yeah, it's all Freedom Works and Center for American Progress's fault.
I get it. So of the whole...
Well, I'm not a huge fan of, spending lots and lots of money to try to stop crime that just doesn't stop.
Oh, no, I agree with you. And you and I talked in the past, although my feelings have kind of somewhat changed about this guy. We don't have time. We'll talk about him later. He's not relevant to this discussion. But like you and I like Trey Gowdy somewhere down the road. But who do you think in the current cast and soon to be expanded cast characters on the GOP side, who do you think is most electable? And my answer, first of all, to the first question, I'd pull the lever for Scott Walker. I do, and I'm just going to say this ahead of your answer, that I think probably Marco Rubio just kind of strikes me as somebody who might be able to catch fire and become something a Republican candidate has not become for decades, and that being a populist candidate. I think maybe Marco probably scares the Hillary camp more than anyone. So who do you think is most electable on the GOP?
I'm going to agree with you with Walker. The only reason why I'm not going to say Paul is because he didn't throw his father under the bus, and he's got an abrasive nature to him,
right,
that's going to come back and bite him in the ass. And that's only because, everybody got used to the super charismatic, and uber charismatic followed by quasi-abrasive is not necessarily a good thing, but hey, you never know.
No, that's what's fascinating about politics to those of us who follow it the way we do. Look, past elections, the liberal media love the whole, weak bench, election in, election out, Republican side. Pretty damn strong bench right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just want, what I would like to see happen. Well, first of all, Bernie Sanders could catch on fire and nobody should care. And I mean literally. I don't mean like, popularity wise. Like maybe Martin O'Malley. I used to think Hiawatha, Lizzie Warren, but I just wish somebody would catch on fire and at least challenge Hillary. Although, on the other hand, I also think, no, let her waltz to the nomination and then face the fire in the general. What do you think about that?
I prefer to see her get cash poor, but that's just me.
Well, me too.
But the big one that I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, good God. Carly Fiorina is turning into the John Featherman of this campaign.
Yeah, but you know what?
And for those who don't know about him, Google John Featherman, 1st Congressional District of Pennsylvania. The only guy who ended up on Tosh.0 because he put a nude woman in a campaign commercial.
I tell you what, though, and I know we're under a minute, but she is quick on the draw when it comes to, to answering.
She's like the little yipping dog at Hillary's ankles.
Well, I know that, but she's like not to be discounted, at least brain-wise.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mike Miller, for joining us. It's such late notice.
Yeah.
Taylor should be back tomorrow night. I think that Jason will be around. Who knows? I only live here and push buttons. So thank you for listening to The Right War. Catch Mike tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern on Vigilant Liberty Radio. So, good night, folks.